Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions card game, we continue on with the Galaxy's Most Wanted for Scenario 4 with Nebula going up against Groot and Rocket. So for our flavor text into this one, as you get out of range of the museum, the Milano sensors pick up another speeding ship within your vicinity. Assuming it must be the thief who stole the stone, you crank up the hyper thrusters and ride the ship's tail. When you get close, you realize you're chasing Nebula, daughter of Thanos and Gamora's dear sister. It would be best if she didn't have the Power Stone either. So villain deck, Nebula, Nebula 2, main scheme, we see we've got 2 of those, and counter decks, we've got Nebula, the Power Stone, Ship Command, Space Pirates, and the standard encounter sets. For additional setup, we're getting Guerrilla Tactics. Shuffle each of the galactic side scheme recorded in the side schemes in the victory display section of the campaign log, which was 0. We didn't take care of any of those. And it looks like if we did, it would actually hurt us. So then we're going to shuffle the Badoon Headhunter back into play. And since we've defeated him 3 times before, we're also going to get On the Hunt, Dead to Rights, and the Headhunter's Henchman. So taking a closer look at those cards. Nebula, Scheme of 1, Attack of 2. The first technique attachment revealed each round gains Surge. And Force Interrupt, when Nebula initiates an activation against you, resolve the special ability on each technique attachment in play, then discard each of those attachments. And 14 health per player, so coming in with 28. Then her main scheme, the Art of Evasion, so that's just going over our sets. For setup, put Nebula's ship environment and the Milano support into play, so great. We're starting with our Milano. Not so great, Nebula's ship. Attach the Power Stone to Nebula. Discard the top 2 per player cards of the encounter deck, then attach each technique attachment discarded this way to Nebula. 6 threat per player. Track the Nebula's location, but she's trying desperately to get away. This may be your only chance to take the Power Stone from her. So X is equal to the number of evasion counters on Nebula's ship. So that's how much threat we're getting on there per player, and it's starting with 2 per player, so we're getting 4. And then her next one, she's getting some evasion counters. And pretty much the same thing going on. So the Power Stone she's starting with, +1 Scheme Thwart, +1 Attack. And the reason why they're doing that, so for setup, it's going to the villain. It's a permanent force response. After a hero or villain deals 3 or more damage to attach a character with a single attack, attach the Power Stone to the attacking hero or villain. So this is going to go back and forth. So we're juggling it around with Nebula. And of course, her ship. It's an environment, Force Interrupt. When the villain phase begins, place 1 evasion counter here. Shoot the thrusters, first player action. Exhaust the Milano and spend up to 2 resources of any type. Remove 1 evasion counter from here for each resource spent this way. So another resource heavy game coming up for us. Of course, we're starting with the Milano as a resource. Exhaust the Milano to generate a wild resource for any player. And then the Guerrilla Tactics coming into play. Hinder, so it's getting 3 per player with it. Victory, and when defeated, place 2 evasion counters on Nebula's ship. Just looking at what Expert adds in there. Acceleration and another card. So that's pretty much it for setting up the villain. And for our hero, Groot, going with Aggression. Rocket, going Power of Justice. Thwart 1, Attack of 2 with 3 health. When Groot would take any amount of damage, remove that many growth counters from him. For each growth counter removed this way, prevent 1 of that damage. Hand size of 5 and 10 health. Recovery of 4. Growth Spurt as an action, place 2 growth counters on him to a max of 10 and a hand size of 6 on this side. Power of Aggression, going with 2 of those. Some combat training. 3 Relentless Assaults with Rocket Raccoon. A solo Piercing Strike, Hall of Heroes, Lion Weight. And some allies, Hulk, Tigra, Bug, She-Hulk, Valkyrie, Thor, and Spider-Girl. And for basic cards, we've got our 3 resources, along with the Helicarrier, Deft Focus, Flora and Fauna, 2 downtimes, Lockjaw, and his 3 specific cards he's purchased, Armor Plating, Indefiance, and a Brainstorm. And for Rocket, making him first player, so he's going to get the Milano. Thwart of 2, Attack of 1, Defense of 1. Murdered you is his ability. As a response, after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw a card. Hand size of 5 and 9 hit points. On Alter Ego, recovery of 3. A tinkering action, choose and discard a tech upgrade you control to draw 2 cards, hand size of 6 on this side. Then for Justice, we've got 2 Power of Justice, Heroic Intuition, 3 Clear the Areas, 3 for Justice. Then the Sense of Justice, then our allies, Agent Coulson, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Quake, Spider-Man, Wiccan, Speed, and 2 Spycrafts, which are my prep cards for Coulson to go find. And basics, got our 3 resources. Helicarrier, Nick Fury, and Mockingbird, some more spies to help us with our preparation card. Flora and Fauna, Endurance ×2, and then his purchase cards, he's got a heavy cannon, and take the fight to them. Alright, so shuffle up our encounter deck, then we're going to look at the top 4 cards to see if we can find, or hopefully not find, a technique for Nebula. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, we found one. Pirate Lackey, Lethal Intent, and the Pirate Commander. And if I would have discarded an obligation, technically they do not get shuffled in here until after we do this step. So we're good for that. So she cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. Special ability, place a threat on the main scheme. And then Rocket, go looking for 6 cards for him. And since I recorded the deck construction, once I finished that, I realized I didn't put an Under Surveillance in here, so this has 1 more card in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Helicarrier, Genius, Strength, Spycraft, Under Surveillance, and Clear the Area. Well, I think those are all keepers. We'll go ahead and keep that. Discard Spycraft, so just drawing 1 card into a Clear the Area. Then for Groot, he'll get 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I Am Groot, Armor Plating. I like that first off. Lion Weight, Downtime, Tigra. So we'll keep those 2. Power of Aggression, Deft Focus, I Am Groot, and Spider-Girl. So we're going to start by bringing in the Helicarrier. We can exhaust that to choose a player and reduce the resource cost of the next card they play this phase by 1. We're going to flip over, Thwart for 2. Under Surveillance, that was the new card I added in. Attach to the main scheme, max 1 per scheme. Increase the target threat value of attached scheme by 4. Groot is going to get 2 counters. And we're going to bring in his Armor Plating. When an identity would take any amount of damage, exhaust this, prevent 1 of that damage. 2 if we control the Milano, but we've got that on Rocket. Then we're going to bring in Spider-Girl with the Power of Aggression. Thwart 1, attack of 2 health. After she enters play, stun and confuse a minion. We don't have any of those in, but she'll come in and swing for 2. Down to 26. Groot will flip over and attack for 2. Down to 24. Reduce the cost of the next card. We'll bring in Tigra with I Am Groot and the Milano. Thwart 1, attack of 2 health. After she attacks and defeats a minion, heal a damage from her. So she'll come in and swing for 2. Down to 22. And we'll go ahead and keep focus on this side and clear the area. Was not able to get the Power Stone away. So 4 more cards. Endurance, the Pistol for Justice, and Wiccan. And then Root Stomp, Strength, another Root Stomp, and Piercing Strike. So the Nebula ship gets a evasion counter. Then for the threat, we get 1 per player, according to those. And then, let's see, attacking over here, first thing, place a threat on the main scheme. Then we're just going to have Spider-Girl defend for base 3, 4, 5 damage. Then attacking here, Groot is going to defend for base 3. So we're good there. The boost is after this activation ends, attach the card to Nebula, resolve the special ability, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Alright, so this is scary. We've got some really good cards there. And we are going to lose Deft Focus. Alright, so encounter cards. Or in hero form, you may exhaust a Milano. If you do not, the villain attacks you with +1 attack. I think we'll exhaust the Milano. And then Wilt already. May flip to Alter Ego. We will. Fortunately, we can't remove counters from him, so this card gains Surge into this, and that's going to go into a Surge. So she reduces the amount of damage she takes from an attack by 1. And then now she's got Retaliate. That turn did not go well for us. Pass first player. Use his ability to get 2 counters. Then flip over. We're going to Root Stomp, dealing 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, place a growth counter on Groot. So it's going to be 5. She's got 2 stances, reduces them out. So we're doing 3 damage. Down to 19. And that is enough for us to take the Power Stone away. We get retaliated on. We will prevent that. Tiger is going to thwart for 1 because I think she's going to get sacrificed here in a bit. Make the next card we play over here 1 cheaper. To do 5 more damage, which translates to 3 damage, down to 16. We get retaliated on and take 1. Then we're going to play Wiccan. So thwart for 1, attack for 1, 3 health. After he thwarts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, deal a damage to an enemy. So thwarting for 1. Discarding a card to do 1 damage, which gets reduced by a bunch. Oh wait, that's just from an attack, so it still does 1 damage. And no retaliate. Then we will thwart for 2. And then thwart for 2, and if we remove the last from a scheme, we can draw a card. Just kind of see what we get. Rocket launcher, I'm kind of good with that. But we are going to flip over and end our turn. So 5 cards on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Downtime, Helicarrier, Vine Spikes, Flora and Fauna, and Valkyrie. And then we're going to keep the rocket launcher, 5 more cards, Flora and Fauna, our particle cannon, Spider-Man, Energy, and Nick Fury. So we get a token there, which means we're going to get 4 threat. Activating over here, discard a card at random from your hand. Losing Valkyrie, discard a card at random from her hand. Helicarrier, take a damage. That was no fun. And then she's still attacking. We're going to defend for 1, 2, 3, plus another card. Boost. Gives +1 attack to all enemies. 4 threat. So that's going to come up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we end up taking 1. Scheming over here for 1, just 1. Counter cards. Villain attacks you. Tigra jumps in the way. You know what? I forgot about that. We would have prevented that 1 damage. We're still at 10. All good. She's defending there. 1, 2, 3. Then something else is going to happen. So we're activating this ability. Give her a tough status card. If she already has tough, she gets a face down boost card. And that was from the attack. So Dead to Rights, this gets Surge. When revealed, exhaust your identity if you cannot place 2 threat on the main scheme. So Surge, exhaust, and done. Then we get a Power Siphon. Choose to either exhaust a Milano, spend 2 energy resources, or discard a card at random from the first player's hand. Fortunately, we've got the energy to take care of this. And pass turn. So we are going to reduce the cost of the first card we play this turn. And yeah, we're bringing in Nick Fury. That is sad. We're going to have to hope we can get that back out. We're going to use his ability, though, to have us draw 3 cards. Power of Justice, Mockingbird, and Salvage. That's going to come in handy, like right now. So first player, we're going to exhaust that, spend 2 resources to remove 2 tokens, and then put the particle cannon on top. Then we're going to play Flora and Fauna, place 2 growth counters on Groot, and ready him. Flip over. Wiccan is going to thwart for 1. He'll take the 1 off the main scheme and do 3 damage. Wasn't expecting that. Get rid of toughness. Nick is going to thwart for 2. Groot is going to thwart for 2. Then give himself 2 counters. And ready. And thwart for 2 more. So ender turn, keeping Mockingbird, keeping downtime. Actually, we're going to flip him over and gain 2 more counters first. Piercing Strike, Brainstorm, we are Groot. Flashing Vines, She-Hulk, and we kept downtime. Over here we get 4 more. Got our Cannon, Endurance, Pistol, and Heroic Intuition. So it gets a token. To threat. Goes to attack. Gets a tough status. Nick defends for 1, 2, just 2, which is enough. Schemes for 1, then a special ability, which is place a threat on the main scheme, and she cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. And counter cards, a Pirate Lackey with Quick Strike. After this minion attacks and damages you, remove the top card of your deck from the game. Well, we're going to prevent 1 of that damage. Taking 1, but losing. Ooh, Agent Coulson. And then Crisis on Half-World. Give to the Rocket Raccoon player. We may flip to our alter ego side. We will, and we're going to exhaust to remove this from the game also. And pass first player. Groot. Going to get 2 action counters. Go ahead and flip over. Attack for 3 to take care of him. Then we're going to brainstorm. It's a hero action. Name a card type, then look at the top card of the deck. If that card is the name type, remove 3 threat from the main scheme. Then place that card on the top or bottom of your deck and then draw a card. We're going to say event. It is an event. We're going to keep it on top. So remove 3 threat from the main scheme. And then we will draw it. Then we will play We Are Groot. No, we'll hold on to that for a second. Since that's an action. We'll make the next card we play over here 1 cheaper. To bring in She-Hulk. 4 to 2. With 2 consequential. Attack of 1. She gets +1 attack for each damage token on her and 4 health. She'll thwart for 2. Then we're going to flip over. Bring in Mockingbird. So after she enters play, stun an enemy, thwart 1, attack of 1 with 3 health. So stunned, attack for 1 to get rid of tough. Wiccan's going to thwart for 1. Use his ability to do 2 damage. Down to 13. Then, over here, do an action, remove up to 4 growth counters from Groot. Choose that many friendly characters. Give each of those characters a tough status card. We're going to choose 4, so we'll go down to 4 here. And lay out some tough counter cards. Then we're going to hold on to our cannon and end our turn. So 5 cards on this side. Brawn, Bug, the Hulk, and Defiance, and Genius. 4 more cards over here. Power of Justice, Clear the Area, Salvage, and Schadenfreude. So now we're getting 2 threat per player, so 4. Goes to attack, lose stun. So the activation didn't happen. But this one will. Attacking here. Place a threat on the main scheme. Then attacking for 2, 3, we lose tough. Grab some encounter cards. Lethal Intent. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a technique attachment is discarded. Then reveal that card, gets 4 threat. So looking for a technique and see if we're going to go through the deck or not. Found one. So special ability is take a damage and gives her a retaliate. And it was the first one, so it gets Surge. So the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So just like that, we're going to take a damage, which is going to get rid of our toughness, unfortunately. And we'll defend for base 2, 3, 4 damage. So that goes down to 3. Then she's going to scheme for base 1. Put the Badoon Headhunter into play, engage with you. 2 victory points and villainous. So schemed for 1. And pass first player. So first thing Rocket's doing, Milano. 2 resources to get rid of this. And we can put a tech upgrade from our discard pile on top of our deck. Thinking pistol. Yep. pistol it is. All right, we're going to bring in our particle cannon. Finally give him a gun. Comes into play 2 charge counters. As an action, exhaust it, remove a counter from it, and deal 4 damage to an enemy. This attack gains overkill and ranged. So, let's see. I'm going to exhaust that, removing a counter. 4 damage. Rocket, thwarting for 2. Make the next card played over here 1 cheaper. We're keeping them because they're tough. She attacks for 3. Which is enough to take out the headhunter. So he goes to the victory display. So we got 2 victory points. Our next card's cheaper. We're bringing in Brawn. Thwart of 1, attack of 1, 5 health. After he attacks, remove a threat from a scheme. He's going to attack for 1, down to 12. Remove a threat from this scheme. Then we're going to bring in a bug. 4 to 1, attack of 1, 2 health. Hero response, after your hero makes a basic attack, heal a damage from bug. So thwarting for 1 to get rid of lethal intent. So we're still at 6 on that one. And we're done. So 5 cards for everyone. Quake, a heavy cannon. He's got a plan. He's got another plan and a pistol. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lockjaw, Fruition, Hall of Heroes, I Am Groot, and Thor. So get a token, 2 more threat. Attacking over here, Wiccan defends for 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not tough anymore. Attacking over here, Mockingbird defends for 1, 2, 3, 4. Losing her tough. Counter cards. Ruthless. When revealed, Nebula attacks you. If damage is dealt by this attack, by this activation, place an evasion counter on Nebula's ship. Well, now I wish I still had someone with tough. Groot will defend that one. So base 2. And then we're going to be stunned, so we're not taking any damage, so no more tokens over there. Then you are stunned. If you're already stunned, give her a face down boost card. And then, Honor Among Thieves. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a criminal minion is discarded. Reveal that minion, then give that minion a tough status card, and the villain 1 face down boost card. I don't think we're going to... Hopefully we don't find a criminal here. Nope. So we're just getting a face down boost card after we shuffle all these together and give us an acceleration token. And that was everything for that turn. Pass first player. Exhaust that, discarding a resource to keep that in check. And he should be readied. So we're definitely going to attack for 1. Down to 11. Remove a threat from a scheme. Give him his damage. We're going to play Fruition. Place 2 growth counters on him. She-Hulk is going to attack for 4. Down to 7. Make the next card over here 1 cheaper. I Am Groot. Remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of growth counters on Groot. So that's going to be 5. Then done on this side. Thwarting for 2. Hitting for 4. Down to 3. We're going to bring in our cannon. Exhaust the heavy cannon, deal 1 damage to each enemy. If you control the Milano, which we do, deal 1 additional damage, so down to 1 health. Then we're going to bring in a pistol. It's restricted. Enters play with 3 counters on it. As a hero action, exhaust it, remove 1 charge counter from it, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So it comes in with 3. We're going to exhaust. Spending 1. 2 damage is excess damage. After you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw a card. So we draw into a reload. And she's moving up. Scheme of 2, attack of 2, and everything else stays the same, except she's coming in with 34 health now. And that was used. Then we're going to flip over, use the ability to discard attack to draw 2 cards, take the fight to them, and for justice, both hero actions. We're going to bring in Quake. 4-1, attack of 2 with 2 health. After a minion schemes, exhaust Quake to deal 2 damage to that minion. She's going to attack for 2. Down to 32, and that's her turn. We are going to keep for justice over here. 5 more cards. Sense of Justice, Daredevil, Speed, Thruster Boots, and a Reload. 5 cards on this side. 2, 3, 4, 5. I am Groot, Fertile Ground, Piercing Strike, Relentless Assault, and Energy. So start with a token. We get 2 threats. Attacking over here. What's that thing doing? You're stunned. If you're already stunned, she gets another face down boost card. Bug will defend. So it's a base 2 attack. 3 with another boost. 4, 5, 6, 8 damage coming our way. Bug squashed. Scheming over here for 2. And then discard a card at random from your hand. And we're going to lose speed. All right. And counter cards. Yes, I did forget the +1. Headhunter's Henchman with Surge. Scheme of 1 to attack 8 health. Surge is really unnecessary. Into a Weapon Mastery. Gives her a Retaliate 1, and it's the first one. Surge. Into an Insight 1 and a Surge. Well, Fantasy Flight has funds with all the Surge cards. And then when revealed, place an evasion counter on Nebula's ship. And we go into Insight 1 and Surge. It's getting ridiculous. Place an evasion counter on the ship. And not a Surge. Quick Strike. After this minion attacks and damages you, remove 1 card at random from your hand from the game. So it's going to swing for 2. We lose 2 counters, and we took no damage. Well, that was fun. Attach Nebula. This is not the first one, so that's going to... She cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. And pass first player. All right, Rocket. That's just first player action. We can exhaust that. 2 resources. Bring that down to 1. Flip over. Mockingbird's going to attack for... Is she going to attack? Let's see. Oh, that's going to do 1 damage to everyone and 2 to the villain. Down to 30. Reduce the cost of our next card. For Justice, spending a mental to remove 4 threat from a scheme. And then thwart for 2. Attack for 1. Then Wiccan is going to thwart for 1. Use his ability for 0 and leave. And shoot for 2. All right, so we're done with all them. Groot attacking, gets rid of stun. Brawn is going to attack here. After he attacks, remove a threat. Then a piercing strike, dealing 3 damage to an enemy. Get rid of the headhunter's henchman. Then relentless assault to deal 5 damage to this one. So we got our board control back. Do we want to stay? We're going to flip over and gain 2 tokens. An ender turn. We're going to keep the boots. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spycraft, battery pack, endurance, and for justice. 6 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counter card and shuffle. And I just want to make sure if I've been... Yep. Sometimes I'm always afraid I'm putting discarding cards in the wrong spot. That's what happens when you have 3 decks and 3 discard piles so close. So we're getting 1 more card. So we've got We Are Groot. Fine Shield, Relentless Assault, a Root Stomp, Power of Aggression, and another Relentless Assault. So we're getting a token. 5 threat. This activation, discard a card at random from your hand. Lost a battery pack. Take a damage. Place a threat on the main scheme. And there is an attack behind all that. For base 2. We'll defend 3 damage. Then scheming over here for base 2, 3, 4. Then encounter cards. First one is surging into that with the attachment. Reduce the amount of damage he takes from each attack by 1. Then a pirate lackey with quick strike. After this minion attacks and damages you, remove the top card of your deck from the game. Oh, down to 5. And we're losing a battery pack. Then over here, discard cards from the top encounter deck until a technique attachment is discarded and reveal it and resolve the special ability. Shadows of the Past is gone. That's nice. Special ability is take a damage. And we're an alter ego, so lose it. Nope. prevent it. Need to start remembering that's there. And like I said, we've already received one, so this one gives her stalwart, so she can't be stunned or confused. Retaliate and reducing damage from attacks in first player. Going to use the ability to gain 2 tokens. Going to flip over. Brawn is going to attack here. Remove a threat. Going to exhaust that. 2 resources to remove those. Relentless Assault with Overkill. This guy soaks up 2. 3 breaks through. It was from an attack, but he wasn't attacked. So, how's that worded? Deal 5 damage to a minion. Reduce the amount of damage Nebula takes from each attack. I'll go ahead and reduce it. So down to 28. Then we're going to play We Are Groot, remove up to 4 growth counters, and once again, I'm going to hold on to that. No, we're good doing it now. We're going to spend 4 counters, so going from 7 to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we're just going to do 3. Then over here, this is not an attack, dealing 2 damage, down to 26. Make the next card we play 1 cheaper. Bring in some boots, giving us +1 thwart. Then we will thwart for 3. Then play for justice to remove 3. And pause so we don't get retaliated on and lose our toughness. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Genius, I am Groot, Fertile Ground, and the Power of Aggression. Then 2 cards, Jessica and her skeleton, counter card and shuffling. So we've got 3 more cards coming. 1, 2, 3. I've got a plan, Schadenfreude, and for justice. All right, 1 token. 3 threat. Activating over here. Discard a card at random. Oh man, there's some good cards in here. And we are losing. I am Groot. Then we're going to take a damage. That's why I didn't give him a toughness. Didn't want to waste it on that. I guess it equaled out. Then she gets tough. And her attack. Brawn defends for 1, 2, 3 with an additional boost, 4, 5. Then attacking over here for 1, 2. So we lose the toughness. And we're going to place a threat on the main scheme. And she cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. All right, and counter cards. Surge. Force Interrupt. When the villain phase ends, dealing damage to each player. First player action, exhaust Milano and spend 2 resources of any type to discard that card. Got a rogue vessel out here. And that goes into Wilt. Give to the Groot player. We may flip to Alter Ego. We will. And exhaust to remove this from the game. Then a Pirate Lackey with Quick Strike. Hitting us for 2. Remove the top card of your deck from the game. He's just going to thin our deck for us. We'll take it. Down to 3. Losing a pistol. And then Lethal Intent. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a technique attachment is discarded. Reveal that card. That'll be our first one, so we're getting another Surge. After we find a technique. If we find a technique. We did not find a technique. So since we did not find a technique, we do not get Surge. But what we do get is that. We are taking way too long in this game. So I guess we got lucky with that. Pass first player. And that does get 4 threat on it. All right, we're going to make the next card we play one cheaper. Actually, we'll hold off on that. So many things I want to get done here. All right, we're going to have her attack for 2. Losing tough. Then we're going to use our last bullet to do 2 damage, which is excess damage, so we can draw a card. Into Flora and Fauna. We're going to play Flora and Fauna to place 2 growth counters over here and ready him. We're going to deal 2 damage up here to get rid of toughness. Raccoon. Let me see. Yes. Next card, one cheaper. We're going to give him a plan. So he's thwarting for 3 to start with. And he's going to ready and get +1 thwart. Thwart for 4. Then we're going to flip over. Get rid of our pistol to draw 2 cards. Energy and salvage. Sweet. Play Jessica Jones with the salvage. She gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. Salvage is going to put our pistol back on top. She's going to thwart for 2. And bring in our skeleton to give us +3 hit points and +1 attack. Groot is going to get 2 counters. It's going to bring in Fertile Ground with the Milano. Solstice to get another counter and draw a card. So we're up to 8. Drawing into I Am Groot. Flip over. Attack for 3. Down to 23. Oh, I don't think I took the damage from that at the end of the turn. Which I guess we could have used that to prevent the 1. So, all right. Then I Am Groot. Deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of growth counters on him, which would be 7, but it stopped at 5. So it goes down to 18. And we're going to end our turn there. I think we're going to keep both those cards. Into a Valkyrie, Piercing Strike, and a Bug. 6 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Clear the area, Spycraft, Reload, Daredevil, Genius, and a Pistol. So that's going to be getting 6 threats over here. Activating, place a threat on the main scheme. scheming for 1, 2, 3. Gives him +1 attack. For 5. So we're at 14 out of 16. So that goes over there. That places a threat on the main scheme. 15 out of 16. And that gets 4 threat. Well, that's a bummer. Activating over here. So that takes it up. Under surveillance. So place 2 evasion counters on her ship. That's going to be a problem for us. So it goes up to 4. For each evasion counter on her ship, discard the top 2 cards of each player deck and the encounter deck. So that's going to be 8 cards from everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, lockjaw. And then it's going to come in with 6 threat on it. Threshold of 18, same text going on, and we'll lose the game if we get 18 on this one. So she was in the middle of an attack. Quake will defend. And we get encounter cards. We're an alter ego, Nebula schemes. If threat is placed by this activation, place 1 evasion counter on Nebula's ship. Good grief. There's no coming back from something like that. So we've got to do 18 damage quick. All right, so 1, 2. We got lucky with that. And we're in hero form. You may exhaust the Milano. If you do not, the villain attacks you with +1 attack. All right, Brawn. We're getting attacked for 1, 2. Discard a card at random from your hand. And we're losing a piercing strike. All right. Oh yes, and everyone takes a damage. We'll prevent that one and lose a counter. Okay, we're going to bring in a bug. 4 to 1, attack of 1 with 2 health. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal him a damage. Swinging for 1. Oh, reduce the amount of damage she takes each attack by 1. Never mind, that changes everything. I had a way to defeat her, and that's 1 card's going to stop that. So in that case, we got to worry about this. So removing a threat. Attacking for 3, which is going to end up being 2. Use a Milano, discarding 2 cards to remove 2. Use his ability, discarding a tech to draw 2. Strength and the Power of Justice. So we'll bring in Daredevil. 4 to 2, attack of 2. After he thwarts, deal a damage to an enemy. That's dealing a damage, not an attack. So thwarting for 2. dealing A damage down to 15. He's going to flip over and thwart for 2. She's going to thwart for 3. Oh, he attacked, so we did heal him 1. Going to bring in the pistol, gets 3 counters on it. Exhaust it to do 2 damage to someone. So move to counter, it's going to do 1 damage down to 14. Make your next card 1 cheaper, clear the area. Remove 2 threat from over here. That does 2 damage, reduced by, not an attack, so it actually does 2, down to 12. And end her turn. We're going to keep both Genius and Reload. Drawing 3 more. Mockingbird for Justice and Sense of Justice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Spider-Girl, Piercing Strike, Energy, Relentless Assault, and a Brainstorm. All right, we get a token. So we're getting 4 per player, 8, 9, 10. Activating, discard a card at random. We are losing a Brainstorm. So she's swinging for a base 2. We're going to take it. So swinging for 2, 3 damage. We lose 3 counters. We took 0 damage. So keeping that. Activating. Bug defends. Additional card. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Another squished bug. And counter cards. Attach a Nebula. It's your first one of those. Gets Surge. Reduce the amount of damage she takes from each attack by 1. That card's aggravating. Then Nebula attacks you. If damage is dealt by this activation, place an evasion counter on Nebula's ship. Well, I guess first we're losing a card at random since she's attacking us. Losing a Piercing Strike. We're just going to take it. 1, 2 damage. All right, we're fine. Insight 1. Surge. Place an evasion counter on her ship. Attach the Nebula. She's already gotten her first one, so this doesn't get Surge. Gives her Retaliate 1 and a special take a damage. And pass first player. Oh, I forgot. She gets +1 for each attack. So it would have prevented 1 and lost that token. I think that fixes that. Now I'm questioning if I got all the surges. We'll take 1 more just to make it fun. Villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Jessica will defend. Take a damage. Down to 5. Additional boost. 4, 5, 6. She didn't make it. Now we have to do 12 damage. Oh yes, now we each take a damage from the rogue vessel. Gonna bring in Spider-Girl, stun and confuse a minion. Swing for 2, down to 10. Swing for 3, down to 7. 2 damage from that, down to 5. Daredevil for 2, down to 3. Rocket for 2, down to 1. Pistol for 2, excess damage. Draw a card. Then we can bring in Mockingbird to do another damage and stun. Got to reload so we can ready each tech upgrade and shoot for 2 more. And a battery pack to bring in some more ammo. So that game went really long. That's a problem if that gets out of hand. But I'm hoping there were no mistakes. Well, minimal mistakes. We'll go that route. All right, for the victory, record units in our box or unspent units box. Get 1 for each player. Record the number of units for each player. For victory values, we beat him up again, so we're up to 3. For each player, if there are 1 or fewer evasion counters on our ship. Yeah, good luck with that. Record 1 unit for each player if we're still on stage 1B. We got close. Insights had a problem with that, and her techniques. The Power Stone is attached to an identity. Record that identity's name, and that is Groot. Record the number of evasion counters on her ship, and that is 5. All right, for Rocket, 6 money. Buying the mounted laser. Exhaust mounted laser. Deal 2 damage to an enemy, 3 instead if you control the Milano, and that's who we typically have with the Milano. And then while I did have 7 with him, pretty much all the 7 cost cards were remove it from the game, and I just felt like I could, well, I wanted to try this. So for 5, getting Safeguard, give up to 2 friendly characters each a tough status card and draw a card. And Creative Solution. Draw 1 card. Hero action, draw 1 card and remove a status card from any character. The status card removed this way was tough. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Stun, remove 3 threat from a scheme. Confuse, heal 3 damage from an identity. So then we go on to later aboard the Milano. You were the one who set off the alarm on the collector's ship. I needed a distraction to reach the collector's vault. What do we do with the stone? I am Groot. I agree, we could use the money. No, guys, we can't just sell it. I contacted Cosmo. He says if we bring the stone to him on Nowhere, he can keep it safe. What the flark is that? It's Ronan. Guardians, you stand accused of stealing an Infinity Stone. Give it to me or die. Well, hopefully there's a third option in that. So our next game is going to be Scenario 5 against Ronan the Accuser. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.